Hello, Ophiuchus people. Hello, says the Ophiuchus snakey. Welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing readings for November 2024. I will be using the Aquarian Tarot and the Elder Futhark on Willow wood. I'm sorry, I seem a little bit out of breath. What happened just at the end of the last reading, I inhaled my own spit, and that was lots of fun, and I had to go and get a drink. So, because I'm that special. So, let's get started with a card from the Aquarian Tarot. Ophiuchus people, we have the Nine of Rods. So, this month, Ophiuchus, I think there's going to be a lot of just basically making sure that everything is properly set up. Like, it's all going to be pretty much preventative, but it's going to be like just making sure that the rigging is all rigged up. Like you're going to be up in the rigging. You're going to be making sure that you're prepared for everything as, you see things coming in. You're going to be like making yourself prepared for things. Let's get some runes down and get some clarity on this. Yeah, so a lot of plans, and it's based on what you need. So yes, just exactly that. Wow. What is happening, Ophiuchus? Okay. Ooh, that's blank. So your central issue this month is going to be all about agreements, decisions, plans, goals, and perhaps interactions with one-on-one people. We have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. The gift is always an exchange. It's never just a one-way gift. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. It does have to do with agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. You're going to be setting things up. You're going to be putting things in place. And again, you may be involved with one or more one-on-one interactions for this. But mostly I'm just seeing it's like this is basically you're setting up some plans. You're putting things in place. Leading up to this, we have Nauthies. Nauthies is the rune of need. It always means tend your needs, and I think you've been doing that. You're looking around at what you need to do, what needs to be done, and you're like, we're going to get this put in order. We're going to get this. We're going to get this put in order. We're going to get all those rods in place. And that's what this month is going to be for you. You're going to be very busy getting all these rods in place. It's not paranoia per se. It's not like, survivalist kind of, but it's just sort of, you're seeing where there are things, where there are like nets missing, and you're like, we have to put a net there, and just basically making sure that everything is in place, because otherwise that if anything happens that you sort of foresaw and you didn't have a net there, you'd be like kicking yourself. So you're basically like, okay, no, everything that I have thought of, I'm going to make sure is there. Like the redundancy thing, absolutely happening. Because it's not, because it's like it might happen and you want to have that covered. So what is going to help you? We have Hagalas, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This has to do with chaos, things that are out of your control, weather, but also nature and your nature and the fact that you are a force of nature and all of that kind of thing. So here's how I'm going to read this. First of all, being aware that there's always something that is going to be out of your control. So what you're doing is you're focusing on the things that you can control, and you're working on getting things in place. But just sort of being aware that this has always been like the crazy stuff that happens. There's always going to be something like weather that's going to blow in, and we can be as prepared as we want to for it. And so let's just basically prepare for that. But also just this sense of, being aware that there's always that. Like there's always something that's going to be out of your control. There's always chaos. But that you too are a force of nature. And that also weather is not permanent. Like weather just blows in and it makes a mess, but then it goes. So whatever happens and whatever you're preparing for, be aware of, just to remind yourself that this is part of life. There's always going to be that. But we are taking care of what we need to take care of. Like whatever we can think of to put something up to prepare for, we're doing that. But so that we don't drive ourselves crazy, we have to remember that there's always going to be the unexpected. Like there's always going to be something that's out of our control. But also that we ourselves are a force of nature. So even if things blow in and are wild, we can just call upon our own wild and say, okay, in the moment, how am I going to deal with this instinctively? So prepare for what you can, but trust yourself that you'll be able to deal with anything pretty much that comes in that you won't be able to plan for. So what isn't going to help is we have Ivaz, which is the rune of patience, slow growth, slow development. It's the yew tree. It's going to feel like a lot. You're going to be very impatient about things, especially like you got to take your time with this. You have all month. So, and you're making your plans for this. So take your time, but you're going to feel a bit impatient about it. I really want to get another rune down on either end of these. So which one is this? I think it's this. You know what? It might have been this. I'll read it both ways. What's going to help you is communication, for sure. For sure what's going to help you in communication. Now, if this was at the top, I'm going to read them both ways. If this was at the top, because it's fun that way, communication is definitely going to be key, and expressing, like bringing through what you're expressing is going to help you while you deal with nature and all of that, and your own nature. What isn't going to help you is, you're worried about support, and you're impatient with things because you're worried about levels of support, external support. Let's just switch them for fun. If it was switched, remembering that you are supported is going to help you as well. And what isn't going to help you there is you may be distrustful of the communications that you have around you. But I'm pretty sure this was the way that it was supposed to come out, because when I pulled this one, I was looking at that one. So definitely you're worried about support levels. But if you start to feel like, it's a lot and you're impatient with it and it's not moving fast enough for you to get everything in place, bring yourself back up to where you're trusting yourself instinctively to deal with things, and also you're trusting communication, that if you need to communicate during this, it will also help. All of this is going to lead you to a point at the end of the month where you're going to feel like, okay, blank slate in terms of I'm open. You may have whatever the divine is for you. Whatever it means to you to connect with the divine, you're going to feel more connected to the divine because you're going to be trusting that you will be able to handle instinctively whatever comes at you. Obviously, you're always going to want to have help, but yeah, you're going to be open at that point. You're not going to feel like you're going to have all your things in place, and then you're going to be able to see through them because that's your, I don't want to say cage. It's like a shark cage kind of thing. Like, it's not a confining cage. It's going to be more like a shark cage where you feel safe now. And now you can comfortably look out into everything in the world and say, okay, I've prepared for whatever I can prepare for. And I know that instinctively I trust myself to deal with anything that comes at me that I'm not prepared for. Phew, Ophiuchus. So that is your reading for November 2024. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.